Where is she now? What is she doing and how is she living? I don't know anything about her. Call her. He looked at his friend. She blocked me from everywhere, tried to contact her so many times, but she didn't want to come back. Yeah, she had dignity. Paul, I don't know what to do. I don't want to leave her. I love her so much. I'm feeling alone. I miss her. She was with me in any situation. She didn't tell me anything because she didn't want to upset me. How can I leave her? Yeah, my mother did wrong. I was asking her dad, but her mother came and took her. She can't him because she didn't want to live there. You need to listen to her. Your mother did so wrong. It's not Vian's mistake. It's your mother's mistake. How is your mother doing? I don't know. I stopped talking to her. I don't want to talk to her. He threw the bottle on the floor. Walled in rage. Calm down. His friend started patting his back. While on the other hand, is this your last decision? Yes, I don't want to live in this country, but you are pregnant. How can you live alone? How can you live alone there? Mom, Alice is there. She will help me. She turned to her mom. Don't worry. I wish I will never let you marry that man. Mom, it's not your mistake and now stop worrying because I'm happy in my life. I don't want to look back. Her mother smiled and Mom started packing her clothes. At night, Janko entered the mansion and started walking towards his room, but Janko heard something but loudly shut the door without answering. He's mad at you. Yeah, but soon his anger will be gone because I'm his mother. How can he ignore me? Bia passed a fake smile. She looked at her husband. He was looking at his mother with a fake smile. Actually, Bia was so rich and the nice of Mr. Chang and also Janko's brother always took a stand for his wife. That's why nobody disturbed her. He entered his room and opened the jacket and threw it on the couch and lay down. He was so angry and at the same time he was so depressed after her. He didn't know what to do, thinking about her, how to get her back, and he always think that. The next day at evening. He entered the mansion with foolish and again his mother stopped. Everyone sitting there, he stopped and looked at her. Are you mad at me because of that chief girl? Don't call her chief, he yelled. His mother's eyes widened because it was the first time he shouted. You are talking to me in this tone because of what? Don't forget who I am. I am your mother. That girl is my wife for kind your information. Also, you started hating me because of her. Can you forget? Oh, please, mom, she didn't even misbehave with you. She also had self-respect. But still, she tolerated your behavior. You humiliated her so much, but she never told me because she never doesn't want to upset me. Now you are hurting her mother for her. Mom, please, I have a life which I want to spend with my wife. It's not my mistake that dad tortured you. Why didn't you leave him? Because of you and your brother, I tolerate your father's behavior. Your mother-in-law did wrong and you should learn from it. But you started acting like her and because of you, I hurt my wife. She cried so much. She was in so much depression because of you. But what are you saying? I want to leave this house. She's a woman with dignity. She will never come back. She said, it's better for you to not to leave this house. Say whatever you want to say, mom. No, nobody can stop me. He angrily started walking towards his room. This is your mistake. Now get ready to see the consequences. I can't do anything because he's young and mature. He's his life and I don't want to control. Or now you don't want to control life. What about my life? You are my life and he is my blood. Jung Hae Jun, do you see that? Yes, mom, and also I'm leaving because of the company. What do you mean? I mean, I wanted to open another company in another country. So I have to leave. Bia will go with me. Why suddenly you both decided to leave this house? Tell me. She was so worried. Mom, it's important for me. And why are you worrying? Dad is with you. He behaved with you so nicely. But I want to leave my son. She opened the door and identified so from now this was her room. She came here for her mental peace and also for her plans. She sat down on the bed and looked at her room. She was and ready to give birth. She closed her eyes and suddenly their memories came to her mind. She didn't want to remember him, so she started working. He grabbed his luggage and walked out of the mansion. His mother was standing inside her room watching him sitting down in the car and driving off. I never wanted this. You are acting like dumb. Why don't you accept that they have their own priorities? I don't care about their priorities, but they care. 1 week later. Now what happened to you? I'm not happy. Shanku, she don't want to live with you anymore. No, don't say that. I can't accept it. But you have to. Suddenly someone came into his car, in front of his car and he stopped the car. Janku, did you hit someone? He said. I don't know. They immediately came out of the car. But when they came out, Janku's eyes widened after seeing one and she looked at him. Are you planned? She got up and started walking while ignoring him. Maya listened to me, he started walking behind her and grabbed her hand. I'm happy that I see you again, he smiled. But I'm not, she yanked his hand, but he yanked her from her. I'm sorry so much. She struggled to free herself. I promise I will never leave you again. She freed herself and I don't need your sorry, don't show me your face again. Paul was standing there while talking to someone. He wasn't interested in their fight. I know you are mad at me when I left. Everyone, now we can live together. He's heartbroken, his eyes filled with tears. Well, he loved her so much, but he was a coward. He looked at her baby once to record, but she hid it. Are you? He's asked. Is this true? Yes. Now stop following me. He put his hand on his hand and he regretted it so much. He sat down on his knees on the door while holding his head. Paul came to me. Don't worry, she didn't want to leave me. I will die. I promise I will die. He said to his friends. Everything will gonna be fine. His friend said this. She entered her room and threw the bag in the corner out of rage. What he think of himself? I will not forgive him. He and his mother hurt me so much. What he is doing, Mama's why he left his house. Is this true? Of course not. He can't do this. The next day she opened her eyes because of the door, but she got up and opened the door. What are you doing here? I came here to see you. I don't want to see you, she said. I know what you want to say. Please, I beg you. She have her and closed it. What do you want to say? I want to say that I did wrong, but I left everything. Can't you forgive me? You don't know how much I suffered just because of your mom. I will fix everything now, but please, Junk, you will never understand. I know why I love you. I know I hurt you. I'm ready to fix everything, but I will not force you to take your time. Okay, but don't think that I want to live with you. Okay, he smiled. 6 months later, Junk was standing in front of the mirror, Mrs. Joan looking at herself. She touched her face while looking at herself like a psycho. Am I still looking pretty? She asked from herself. If I start looking ugly, suddenly Mr. Joe entered and she looked at him. Joy, tell me if I'm still pretty or not. He looked at her and smiled. You are still pretty, she smiled. Really, but your mouth called me sleepy, ugly, and you love Elena. Are you serious, really? He hugged her. I will not leave you, he sadly said this. She forced me to leave my family, then she wanted to leave me. Actually, she was a mental patient. She started crying. What happened to you? Don't cry. I don't know why I'm crying. I just want to cry. They all leave me. I just want to live with my family. Your behavior was not good. That's why they all leave you. I want to see them. Can't they come back? They are busy in their lives now. After her mother-in-law that she wanted to rule, but she didn't know that everyone did not have the same personality. She never wanted to live alone, but now she was left with her husband. She didn't see her sons after that. She was feeling lonely. While on the other hand, they were not living together, but he took care of her. He rang the bell of her room, but the door was open. He entered and he saw her in pain. He ran to her, require things, it's time to give birth. But he packed her up and ran. He was standing outside the room while waiting for the news, and suddenly doctor came out, was smiling and also holding his son. He looked at the nurse and he held his son. Man was unconscious. He asked about her when they said he can't meet her after an hour. Her friend also came there happily. He saw her and while entering, she was looking in so much pain. She sat down beside her while holding her and Alice while holding his son, and also she told her family about the birth of her son. While on the other hand, why are you laying in the dark? He said while switching on the lights. He came to her and sat down in front of her. He was a bad husband in the past, but now he changed. What happened? She started crying after he asked. I'm feeling something heavy on my heart. I did not want every much remembered all the witchy moments. Of course, she was an arrogant woman with so much attitude. One was not only she insulted Mrs. Joy, insulted and regretted so many women who were not at her level, and now she regretted. She didn't understand. She started feeling this. The next Chunk was sitting on the couch and Vine was sitting talking to Alice and her brother. She was looking so happy and he didn't know that she had a friend. Of course, she didn't want to talk to him even if he tried or not. He sometimes went to her apartment. Her family attendants and their smile dropped when they saw Chunku. What is he doing here? He asked strictly. She didn't say anything and then her brother started insulting him to give any shame loser. Man, how can you stand here after that incident? You feeling shamed? Ivan also didn't say anything and let her brother insult him, and today he realized how much dignity matters. Alice and brother were looking at him. He got up and walked out, saying this was the first time someone insulted him. He was not feeling good. He could also insult her brother, but he didn't. He entered the house and sat down and started thinking about her. He knew that her family doesn't let her stay with him. All night he thought about this and was while crying, and his love was not fake. 1 week later, he rang the bell and her brother entered. Let me talk to her last time. My brother nodded and let him enter. He walked towards the room and entered. When she entered, she was smiling and talking to her newborn. I know I did wrong because you were my wife and responsibility was my responsibility to give you respect, but still I didn't take a stand for you. Now I came here to say this that you deserve better. Man felt hurt because he was at first love. You need someone who gives you respect. I can take care of my son, I know, but he's also my responsibility. He nodded and he walked out. He was so hurt because he didn't want to leave, but he did this because he knew her answer. His tears started falling. I feel that mom, what happened to you? I don't know. What are you talking about? I'm not your mom. They admitted her in the hospital because she became a mental patient. Her father was trying hard his best for her treatment. She forgot everything. She lost her senses. Janko, what happened to you? His brother suddenly asked. What do you mean? Do you see the mirror? You are looking so depressed. Your personality changed. I know you are so much pain. I will talk to her for you. No, I believe that she will not listen to you. Their mom was checking herself and they both were staring at her. Sat down on the car, but suddenly his cell phone started ringing. He picked up the call and Junko, your son is in so much critical condition. What, where is he now? We're heading towards the hospital. Come here. She told him and the hospital address and he drove off. He stopped the car and saw that one was coming out of it. The car were holding him and crying. They put him on the stretcher and the doctor shifting him in the operation theater. He sat down while everything happening. He looked at her. She was crying out and praying for her son. Don't worry, he will be fine. He has a hole in his heart. They saw each other after so many years because Janko just met his son. All those past years, now they were sitting silently and she looked at him and, what happened to your eyes? I got into an accident, okay. By the way, are you okay? Yes. No, I still haven't moved on from you, but do we find someone? I choose to be an independent woman. Good. There was an awkward silence between them. He was happy that she was sitting beside her. They met their son after that and he was doing okay. After my dad, I am happy that you both are with me today. Van and Janko smiled. They both were holding his hand. His one hand was in Van's hand.